Hello, good morning. I'm Rodrigo Pimentel. I'm responsible for Google for Education Latin America. Super pleasure to be here with you today, right? So we come from like this kind of a big week. Yesterday we had this event with higher education in our office in New York. So some of the guests are here. I know that Universidade de São Paulo is here. Mateus, where are you? Oh yeah, you guys are there. Yeah, nice. And we have like this big delegation. He's over there. Big delegation of Latin American, say, government institutions that are representing millions of kids here amongst us. So we invited them here. So a round of applause for these warriors, I'd say. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for the educators. Thanks for the teachers. I mean, this is a very special moment for us to celebrate this partnership that we have with the MIT, right? So today, I'd like to talk about this very easy subject, which is generative AI in 21st century skills, some emerging trends, and future implications for that. So, on that, a little bit of me. So, I'm the father of triplets, 20-year-old triplets. So they were teenagers during the pandemic. So that gives me some medals. I'd say who had the experience of raising teenagers during pandemic here? Please raise a hand. Was it easy? Yeah. Is it ever easy? Yeah. So, but again, I can tell you guys, so it was not easy for us, but it was not easy for them as well, right? Let's dig a little bit into that, into the statistics, so that we all emerge and kind of think about AI maybe as a tool to help us out with that, right? So, my mother is a former teacher. She used to work and ended up her career in the Secretary of Education of the Distrito Federal that I know that's here, right? So my sister is still a teacher. I used it to give volunteer classes, English classes when I was kind of younger. But yeah, it runs in the family, right? And once you get the bug, man, you cannot get away with that. So yeah, you get addicted, right? So this is kind of summarizing everything that we've spoken today. From how to, I mean, the phenomenal presentation that took place. So personal computers, internet, mobile, artificial intelligence, generative AI, those are big shifts we're going through. I'm not going to even spend more time because we know this is something in a way fascinating and scary, right? We all agree? So, but let's talk about the current scenario, especially when we talk about the teacher's view. So we ran this research not only in Latin America, but this is a global story that tells us that this burnout phenomenon is something that's not only here in the US, it's everywhere. So kids, do pay attention to this. This is very important, right? So 52% of K-12 teachers, they're reporting that they feel like, hey, I can't do it, right? That's the burnout feeling. 35% of higher education staff feeling the same situation. So that's one piece of data. The second piece of data here, 46% of their time, the teacher's time, is actually teaching. So conversely, 54% of their time is doing other things, administrative work. So this is grading, planning, interactions, I mean, non-teaching stuff, and even try to become a better teacher. So, I mean, students, please kind of try to acknowledge that there's a bunch of stuff that your teacher needs to do. And that's not because of AI. It has been like that. It's increasingly higher. And then 51% of the teachers, they say that their workload is too heavy, right? It's too burdensome for them. And it impacts their teaching practices as well. So this is the hard reality for being a teacher. So kids, how many of you would like to be a teacher by the time you become an adult? Any one of you think about becoming a teacher somehow? And again, that's kind of the sad reality, right? I hear that from my kids as well. My 20-year-old kids, right? This is the situation. So we need to be ready and to bring them on board again. That's the most important, say, way of kind of making a living, right? Teaching others. But yet, these people are suffering right now. On that, let's now take a look into the most important part of our journey, which is we need to make sure everybody here, we need to make sure that students are successful, right? If we do this right, our jobs right, as researchers, as teachers, as industry, technology industry, if we do our work right, then we're going to have students being successful in whatever they want to do, whatever they want to pursue. Yet, 19% of kids after pandemic do not have basic math proficiency. And I assure you that in Latin America and in some emerging markets, it's even worse. And I'm also talking about 28% of kids having problems with reading proficiency. Basic stuff that somehow converts into dropout. Because kids, they just cannot, keep moving, right? They just do not understand what's going on. That's the sad reality. On the other hand, 75% of the kids across the globe, they're telling us, I like to have a way to learn my own pace. So how many of you here like to learn by listening? Show of hands, please. Listening. Those are the podcasters, usually, right? How many of you like to learn by watching? How many of you like to learn by teaching? That's me. I'm crazy. I kind of give classes to myself. So I like to learn. I have to be isolated, right? And I'm kind of creating my classes. So those, again, by show of hands, we all learn differently. We have different ways of getting stimulated to do what we need to do. So why the heck we think that by providing a class the same way for everybody is going to work? It's not going to work, right? And if you're talking about student success is the thing, so 1 out of 10 employers say, I can't find people to work. In the past, we used it to really kind of privileged hard skills, right? We wanted to recruit the best programmers, the best mathematicians, the best, accountants, the best, financial whatever. Nowadays in Google, we don't hire necessarily people who have even like a college degree. That's not needed. The most important thing nowadays is the soft skills. But we used to call them soft, but they're not soft at all, right? That's got a big contradiction. Critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, those things are hard to craft. And yet we're still looking into, 60 years ago. And that's why we have this big, say, gap. So this is kind of the scenario. I don't want to paint it as completely drastic, but in fact it is from the teacher side, from the student side. And then we have 2 testimonials here. So the first one is from the UK Department of Education saying, generative AI has the potential to reduce this workload for the teacher. And also, at the end of the day, give them more time to deliver excellent teaching. In a way, this could solve for both things, right? Do we agree? So, their perception. On the other hand, let's bring the other side of the coin, which is a study that was kind of mentioned here, but was developed by the House. So the MIT, rightfully so, put together the study, say, hey, AI assistants, are they like a cost for writing? And then, of course, the big media decided to take that part of the story and went crazy about it. Say, are we really willing to become dumber? So BBC, CNN, a bunch of, say, huge media outlets talking about this. And this is something that we need to discuss. We truly agree, right? Because the regurgitation of information is something that the kids are using. So who does use AI to do whatever? Students as a whole. Is it easy to use? It is, right? It is. So we have to, but there is a method to madness. I'm going to go down the road. But what if, instead of kind of throwing ideas, I use AI to help us solve this dilemma? And I asked Gemini. So yeah, let's play, with all the tools. I use a deep research that was mentioned today by Ronit. Deep research is accessible for everybody here in our app. It's for free. Give it a try because it's way cool. So a little bit of the process. So I ask it directly, the very question that you guys see here, and it shows me, so this is the methodology I'm going to use. That's a research plan. And you can iterate and say, hey, I don't want this, I want more of that. That's the first thing. Secondly, it brings to you the details and the thinking process of the research itself, including which sites they're going to be researching. And it's a good thing because it brings a lot of, say, academic, deep stuff, articles. So it looks into good and deep sources. And last but not least, it can also bring you some infographics, which is, to me, the coolest thing. So that took me, considering the last part of my prompt, around 10 minutes, I'd say, to do this whole thing. But the intriguing and the most important part is this one here. This research took me total 4.5 hours because I needed to rewrite the prompt 3 times. Because the first time that I tried to use a very open 21st century skills, there's not even a consensus about how many 21st century skills are there. Some say it's 16. Some say they're grouped in 3 groups. But nevertheless, I need to narrow it down to critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. And yet, it didn't work well. So what was coming out was not conclusive. Then I switched it. That's my key shift that I'm talking about here. Collaboration to problem solving. And all of a sudden, I had very relevant stuff. It came up with a very, very good thing. So 85% of my time, on the other hand, I spent doing cross-checking the references and reviewing the content. And then this total of 4.5 hours took me to refine the prompting and the presentation outline itself in order to come back to you with this, which I'm going to be showing very quickly. So as I said, switch it to problem solving. So out of all the 21st century skills, I decided to look into these 4 here. It came back with this. I mean, and this piece of study is very, very good. All this thing is so new from this year, by the way. So these are scientific articles. And what this tells us, not only about what critical thinking means, is that the best type of research that the kids do, that we do, is the ones that we have low, in a way, low AI confidence, meaning you have to challenge what you're getting. So as teachers, we need to challenge the kids to show their process, to show the way, I mean, what does not sound right. So when you have low confidence on a balanced AI confidence, those are the best scenarios. You're kind of challenging what you're getting. The worst case scenario is the regurgitation. Is say, hey, whatever I get, that's what I'm going to present. When you have, say, high AI confidence and low confidence in yourself, that's when critical thinking is not helping you. So that's the type of challenge that we need to stimulate, right? So that's the critical thinking part. And very quickly, some of the positive trends, negative trends. Of course, personalized learning as the positive one, constructive approach. Over-reliance is the bad one, and cognitive atrophy. Those are the bad things that, I mean, the research, the deep research that I ran are suggesting to us. When it comes to communication, though, and this infographic is very, very basic. So where AI exceeds is grammar, readability, organization. Every time that I see, particularly when I see an email coming from a Googler that is way too perfect, said, dude, yeah, he's using AI, but not even taking the time to read the context and use something which is called the authentic voice, right? So we are good, we're humans. We're never going to be replaced with the authentic voice and the original observations. So we need to look for that and foster that as educators with our students as well, right? So those are the things that, I mean, kind of resonate and are very important. Same thing, the positive trends, scaffolding tools, so writing assistance. The negative trends, diminishing authentic voice. To me, that's the crucial thing that we need to keep. And last but not least, so I'd say that if I were to take, I mean, my own route without AI to run this, it would take me weeks to research the right sources. Again, it took me 4.5 hours. To me, that's the best conclusion. So talking about the potential and navigation challenges, right? So there is, of course, great possibilities for us to do great things when using AI. The challenges are risk of over-reliance. which can diminish the cognitive effort, as the MIT alluded to. But the most important thing to me are these two pieces of data here. So key determining factors are the mode of engagement. So this mastery, say constructive format, should be the way teachers should be engaging with the students. Instead of just a procedural, which is the traditional way, the SATization of education. So give me your stuff. So that's the essay, give me what you got. So it's time for us to look into the process. We need to be more into the constructive side. And the last part, not least at all, is the essential foundation. So AI literacy is paramount for teachers and for students as well, including the prompt engineering. That's going to be a future job for itself. What you ask is what you're going to get, right? Pretty much taking a look at my deep research. I asked for the whole 21st century skills, didn't get anything. I needed to learn how to narrow down to what matters. So the prompt engineering is something that truly matters. The thoughtful pedagogical design and human oversight always going to be paramount and much needed. So the work of teachers more than ever, and within Google we have, full clarity of that, is more important than ever with this big technology, right? And that's my last slide, right? So we truly believe that together we can manage to create this teacher assistant for every educator. It's almost like an agent to unload all the stuff that they need to do so they can focus on teaching, have like a better life quality. A tutor for every learner. There's no teacher to cover for this entire gap that we see across the globe given the pandemic, right? So we can have the right calibrated tutor to help us out. I advise you to take a look at a Google video. It's called Project Astra, what we're doing in terms of tutoring. It's not going to be a tutor that's going to give you the answer. It's something that's going to be provoking you through AI. Hey, why don't you look at that in a different way to support the teacher in order to deliver what needs to be delivered. And last but not least, that's for my friends here, the education leaders. So an assistant for you to guide you through the process, through the curriculum, through all the, say, the legal situations and problems that you need to face together. And with that, I'd like to thank you very much. Thank you again, MIT, for the big, big partnership. Have a great one.